wig game is strong. Hello, stars. We're here at the Sky Cabana wearing our adorable velour nude colored twin set. It's just like a little two-piece outfit, pants, and a kind of crop top. But this is our homeless wig, right? We've been spending some time at work playing, an unhoused person. And that's not to be disrespectful, but it is a sort of credible part of storytelling and drama and life in Hollywood and Los Angeles and America and the world. A lot of us, including me, have spent time unhoused, bad roommates, bad breakups, when you move to town and you're sleeping on someone's couch. I mean, the flip side of what we call cuffing season, right? Meaning like getting into a relationship is people who get into relationships purely for the sake of having a place to stay, warm bed, warm shower, and safety. That's one part of it. And then another part is like, people who may have immigration issues who can get super romantic online and they listen to the person that they're targeting and they kind of mold themselves into being that person's dream come true when in the end it wasn't sincere. But in any case, I wanted to show you this wig. I'll try to, share some, I guess, footage or maybe a picture of what this wig looks like when I'm actually in character. But a couple of women at work approached me and asked me how many wigs I have, and I don't buy them unless, for example, this wig costs $6. It's synthetic, it's from Daiso, it's a cosplay wig. I'm not sure what character it's supposed to be, but Daiso for a time had really pretty incredible wigs, and I was not some wig expert. I was just looking for options for my hair so that I could be different things, different hair textures. Maybe this is soccer mom hair, but if I mess it up and kind of tease it, maybe I'm, unhoused or on drugs. I actually wore this very wig in a movie with Charlie Sheen and Gina Gershon, where it was a September 11th movie with real firefighters, and they asked me to portray this Afro-Latina woman who was the last, I think, living person to escape from the Twin Towers September 11th disaster. And, they put, like powder, like dirt, like as if the building was hit by airplanes and it was kind of a disaster. And, they asked us if we had clothing that they could like rip up and make it look like we had been through, the hard times of that real event. And we were kind of wandering around in the dark and smoke and all of that to portray that situation. But I washed this wig, so it's kind of messed up, but don't you worry, I bought more than one of them, but I'm still rocking with the original, just so that I have an option for maybe not the cutest wig, right? It doesn't have a lot of volume back here, but you could sort of pin it up and make it look more short or whatever, or mess it up. And no worries. Why? Because it's $6. It's not human hair. It's, to me, pretty durable, and it has a realistic looking amount of hair. It's not super thick or super crazy, but, I do a series on social media called Camera Ready, and this is definitely one of the items that I employ to be camera ready, right? Moisturizer. Today I tried some Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Serum Crystal Elixir, not really understanding what it is or what it does. Magic Serum, crystal infused Replexium serum for younger looking miracle skin. I think I look pretty good, not a lot of makeup. Typically when I go to work as, sort of portraying someone in law enforcement or in that environment, it's not a lot of makeup. I think I put this on after sunscreen, moisturizer, and then I powdered my face with Ben Nye's banana powder I may have put some concealer. I think I used the Becca Concealer Ultimate Coverage Longwear Concealer in the color Banana. You know, I don't think I look like I'm the color of a banana, but I certainly find these shades more flattering than the so-called translucent or powders that look white. And sometimes the powders that look kind of tan look a little odd on my skin depending on how tan I am or whatever. But in any case, we've gotten hold of some new makeup. The Pixi On the Glow blush that sort of comes in this deodorant style packaging. And what's interesting is it's a tinted moisture stick. This is in a kind of like corally warm orange color called Juicy, but it's not only for cheeks but also for lips. So in the spirit of not a lot of makeup, right, we do have some interesting options for, I guess this is the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1. You know, I'm not even really wanting to go in with anything too serious. I thought I might just, you know, come on here and talk about the whole sort of like wig situation. Like, I don't really see wigs as anything but an option. It's just like makeup, right? You put it on, you take it off. It's not that deep. It's not like I don't like my own hair. Rather, I'd rather protect my own hair from people in hair departments who want to use heat tools and all of that. And it gives me options and control over my look in a way that, you know, my natural hair and styling it and paying for that doesn't. And I find it empowering. But, you know, two of the women at work actually approached me to say, oh, how many wigs do you have? And it's this ongoing thing where I don't think it's coming from a place of, wow, that's great. It's almost like, you know, some things were said to kind of suggest that I'm weird for doing this, but I don't really know what else I am supposed to do if, you know, my wardrobe notes and if I have a fitting. You know, there was someone else today who was having a fitting for being an unhoused person, a homeless person. You know, do you want to mess up your own hair? Do you want to put like dirt and whatnot in your own hair? You know, when I've played homeless before on I guess it was an episode of Children's Hospital or something like that, um, you know, I just didn't comb my hair and I got out of bed and left it the way it was when I slept in it, and, you know, kind of wrapped a t-shirt sleeve that I cut off of a t-shirt around it, and, you know, did some other stuff. But that's an option. But, you know, wigs are definitely a strong option to give you a very strong different look, right? The short hair, the straight hair, this color hair, and then you're not worried about messing it up or getting it dirty or teasing or anything of that nature. And, you know, it's just, I think you can kind of tell when people ask you questions, you know, more to, shall we say, take a dump on you, or try to create some sense of self-doubt or displeasure in your own mind, right? Like, I had heard that someone in our orbit had suggested that it was weird for me to, you know, use wigs and clothes that are worn and, you know, dirty or whatever to suggest portraying this thing. But that's what we're being asked to do. I'm not going to wear a brand new t-shirt from Target to portray this particular thing. And it's, you know, it's up to the professionals and the producers to decide whether they like the particular style of unhoused portrayal that I'm doing. And if they like it, fine, then I love it. And so should they. But, you know, I think that there's something else going on that, you know, people are wanting me to feel, I guess, less clear about what my mission is, right? So I've just added some more of this concealer in the conceal brightening places, right? And that's looking rather swell, right? We haven't worn any uh, contour, right? But maybe we can just take our beloved You Are Glam Sexy and Healthy Makeup from Daiso, and let's just use a very small brush and add some contour in a very light but specific way. You know, my job is to serve Video Village and camera. My job is to do what I'm asked to do and not question, you know, whether other people besides those people like it, right? You know, it's a very interesting thing that people kind of imply their displeasure with you, in a way, doing your job well. But that's okay. Let them do what they want to do. If they just want to, you know, wear normcore clothes when you're asked to, you know, play something as specific as an unhoused person, or, you know, if you're asked to play a stripper or a cowboy or, you know, a space alien, you know, all of these things that I have done, it really isn't whether or not I really am those things. It really just is a, you know, it's like dressing up for a party. What's appropriate for that role? And it's actually great fun, and you know, generally everyone's like great and supportive, but there's just a few apples who really feel like they want to make you doubt how you do something, even if you're doing it well. And, you know, we always have to look out for those people and read between the lines, right? The word that was used about me and this style of character work in particular was weird. To say, oh, I, Tanya, am weird, but you know, I'm just doing my job. It's not like this is like me running around, you know, going to the grocery store. It really is just me serving the needs of producers and their shows, right? I don't rock this wig just in normal life. It's not for that. And I don't think I should have to explain that, but you know, haters gonna hate. $6, you can't beat it. And you can, you know, mess it up, and then suddenly you're a different person with a different lifestyle. Um, so that's just a very light contour. And we do have some new and exciting makeup. We have this Orgasm X Quad eyeshadow palette from NARS, and we haven't used it yet. Maybe what we will do is take some kind of powder, maybe this banana, well, it's a corrective yellow powder. It's not a banana powder. And lay that on and see if that gives us any joy. We were experimenting with a velour puff yesterday, but I'm not sure where I put it. So we're just gonna rock on with this yellow powder. There's a little in the cap. You don't need much. You just need to take down any shine, or, you know, eliminate high contrast between, you know, what you've done with a brightening kind of highlighting concealer and the color of the rest of your skin, right? The point is not to cancel out your face, it's just to create some visual harmony and balance, right? Just to look as cute as this wig is. But you can see that it's not the most expensive wig, right? But back here it's got an unsatisfying look, but in the front it's Justin Bieber, right? I'm a big fan of his song Company. You know, I think he's a very enjoyable singer, right? If you're in the car and you have road rage, he starts singing Peaches and it calms you down. You know, it's the difference between listening to something that's pleasant and pretty and easy versus listening to like Guns N' Roses or Suicidal Tendencies or even Metallica. But yeah, this is our kind of, you know, very plain, easygoing look. Just employing, just some very simple products, natural lip color, not eyeliner or anything far out of the ordinary, and not even particularly glamorous. But, I just wanted to give you a sense of a wig that can take you from, sort of everyday woman, everyday worker, everyday mom. Maybe you work in a grocery store, maybe you work in daycare. And if you, mess it up, then suddenly you look like you slept in your car. And you can make it a little bit cuter, but, wigs give you options. And, these women at work, two of them approached me to ask me, how many wigs do I have? But it wasn't done in a, oh, it's so great you have so many wigs kind of way. It was really more of a, God, how many wigs do you have? It's like, don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. That's that, like, it's a little bit kind of like none of their beeswax. They can do their job the way that they want to. This is pretty. It's quite sheer. There's a pink color of this Pixi product. It's unscented, but it's really quite pleasant, and it does seem to feel moisturizing, right? So if you're in a rush and you're just trying to get to work or get to set, right? And you just want to look a little bit pretty, right? I'm a little unclear on this product. Is it something to put over your powder and, sort of highlighting concealer? I haven't really contoured, but it does give you a nice sort of visual unity. It is not like I think there's a NARS multi-stick that lets you do eyes, lips, and cheeks, but just lips and cheeks. I have dark eyelashes and dark brows. There's no product on them, but I just look a little bit pretty, I think. But yeah, let's try to get into this orgasm palette. But there is exciting. There is it's just a sense that I have that perhaps I am not being supported or embraced in my wig game, right? Wig game is strong. Wig game is not always about looking pretty. Wig game is often about looking character. And, wigs are a very quick and handy way to get there without damaging your hair, without stressing your hair, and it's super fast and easy to do. So, people don't need to worry about what Tanya does. Maybe, learn from it. And it's not like, there are people that I work with who are spending hundreds of dollars to go to Beverly Hills and get a haircut. I don't do that, right? I'm sure that my whole wig collection, $6, under $10, definitely under $20, $5 for $20, whatever I buy them for, they're always on clearance or sale. Some of them are human hair, some of them are completely synthetic, but washing them, putting dry shampoo in them, putting hair powder in them, cuts that doll shine. When you go to like Party City for Halloween, which was yesterday, and you get wigs and they're so super shiny and fake looking, that's what you don't want. You want something that looks like hair, something that's passable. And there's enough people in the world wearing wigs of different kinds. It doesn't have to have, a Beyonce or pop star level of volume. That's all very dramatic for the stage or for a photo shoot, but for just regular folks, just a little black eyeliner from our friend Marc Jacobs in the color Blacker to thicken up the lash line on the outside. I have somewhat hooded eyes, not completely hooded, but I watched this tutorial from a gentleman who works at Sephora about, the most flattering, I guess, plan for eyeshadow and eyeliner when you have hooded eyes, right? And just use a very precise, this is a precision smudger, 241 from Zoeva, right? It's got a very stiff and sharp point. We're trying to be mindful of making not a crazy wing, but in that Marilyn Monroe way, just one little dark line that implies another lash that builds volume at the base of the outside corner of your lashes, right? Do that on one side. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. And it's really liberating to watch people put on just a messy eyeliner line and then just use a brush to smudge it and perfect it. And you know, this is taking this unhoused wig into a more, you know, a more sort of cute pixie cut glamour place that is going to give us a little bit more flair, a little bit more when someone passes you or has a conversation with you. They'll be, you know, trying to put their finger on exactly why you look so enchanting, even though you're wearing a $6 synthetic wig. You know, any excess product, you can take it and, you know, not blend, but stamp. And I think that's the lesson of this tutorial about hooded eyes, right? Be very precise and press that product in, right, to that inner corner. Take any, you know, too strong area and kind of smudge it off, and then just use it and stamp it in the inner corner. You want to start building a very strong inner corner line. Not too much, but I think the overall lesson of makeup in general is the idea of creams or gels covered with powder. And it's that powder, just like with setting powder, just like with your banana powder and your brush or your velour puff, pressing into the skin, not just brushing and being dramatic, but really using precision and your brushes to give you a very strong application of product that kind of lives where you put it. And I, you know, I have a whole assortment of brushes. There's ones I used yesterday that I have to wash, but this is just a random Vivace. I think this is from the dollar store. But I'm gonna take the palest of these shimmer colors here. They don't have names that I can see, not on the box either. And just lay that into the inner 2/3 of my eye, up to what might be an imaginary new crease for my eye shape, right? So palest shimmer, bing, and then stamp that on the inner 2/3 of the lid, all right? It has nice color payoff. It's in that orgasm color we all know and love. There's a lip version of it, there's cheek version of it, and it's pretty universally flattering. I don't normally get to wear pink and pretty colors, you know, working on a law enforcement show, but I like that we have, you know, storylines that are more lady oriented and more, you know, everyone wants law and order, right? New York is about to elect a 22-year veteran vegan black man, former cop, former borough president, as mayor, right? Because, you know, Black Lives Matter is something that we can all support for social justice, but at the same time, we all need law and order. That is not something we enjoyed during Donald Trump's presidency, because he turned a blind eye to injustice and violence, particularly against people of color, people who are of the LGBTQIA community, you know, anyone who's not him, anyone who's not privileged in the way that promotes his particular biases, were victimized. And we're still seeing all of that play out in court. Now, with this very, very sheer wash of this Pixi On The Glow blush stick on the cheeks and the lips, right? On a very light application of basically powder and concealer, it already looks pretty. We have this black eyeliner at the outer corner, and if we go in with the same brush, should we change brushes? Maybe we should. Let's use a pencil brush. This is a Morphe M321, and I guess it's like we've got 3 shimmers and then we have one that's a matte. So maybe we can see if we can take our brush and put it into this one matte shade and then build the outer corner, right? Stamping it over our black eyeliner that we sheared out with our smudging brush, and just be very, very precise about stamping this shade, which is a matte pink, right? Not the darkest shade, but you know, certainly a different quality of shadow than these shimmers, right? I wouldn't call them glitter because they're more finely milled than that. And then just bearing in mind, you know, that you want your shadow not only on the corner of your eye, but to perhaps arc up toward the end of your brow, right? We're not trying to change our eye shape. We're simply trying to use shadow to create some subtle drama when we close our eye. We can take the same brush that has a bit of a tapered tip and run it through the lower lash line on the outer half, right? Or outer third, right? But because we have hooded eyes, we are wanting to put a lot of shimmer on the inner 2/3 of the eye and then use the outer third of the eye for definition. And especially when you blink your eye or look down, you want to be able to see something that's exciting, a little bit more enhanced than just a natural bare eye. And same thing, we'll use this brush to just put the same color under the eye, right? Creating a shadow and a color that is perhaps a few clicks past natural, but that kind of extends and enhances us darkening that lash line and darkening the outer third of the eye, right? And just that little bit of shift. It's a conservative, pretty set of color choices, right? That doesn't create darkness in the inner corner and doesn't obliterate or cover the entire eye, right? We're working with this, just this quad palette, but maybe we can take another brush, right? Something that has a small tip. I don't even know if it needs to be a shadow brush because we seem to have a few different options. And from the same cheapy brand, Vivace, right? It kind of is an angled, almost like a liner brush. But if we take the pale shimmer shade as well, right? And just very carefully line the bottom lashes, then hopefully we will bring the same brightness we brought to the top of the lid under onto the bottom lash line and go over that inner corner flick that we suggested with our black eyeliner, right? It's very pink, right? And I think that's pretty, right? I'm trying to explore doing things with makeup that aren't all about black, all about dark. You know, this orgasm color certainly got an exciting name. And I think that, you know, for a daytime look, maybe I'm a bank teller. Maybe I'm a preschool teacher, right? No one could object to this level of pretty feminine, ladylike color, just a wash of color, nothing overpowering, not a lot of dark, not a lot of lash, but certainly products that build up to a color story that's enhanced, you know, maybe brings out some of the warmer tones in this wig that I can't let go of for $6. It has, you know, people concerned about how many wigs I have when, you know, that shouldn't even be a question. I have all the wigs I need. I'm not, you know, breaking the bank buying them, and I'm not, you know, spending a lot of money like bleaching or coloring or doing, you know, flat ironing my hair or with a blowout subscription. You know, I've heard of people spending a lot of money, putting a lot of stress on their hair, but, you know, when I put a wig on, my hair is protected. If you want to see what it looks like, you know, the hair people at work taught me how to lay my hair down. You know, like sometimes I have to like be a cop and then be something else. So I was just putting my hair in a bun and it was making kind of a lump at the back of my head. But what they were suggesting is like, if I put my hair in a ponytail and make a bun, take the ponytail out, split it into sections, right? I think I put two. You know, you don't have to like glue your wigs down. You don't have to like go through all of that, right? Especially if you know you're going to keep them on for a very short amount of time, right? But you want them to be secure enough without being, you know, something that's going to affect your skin, affect your natural hair, right? So because I simply put some U-shaped pins, not the tight type bobby pin, and these have like protective ends that won't scratch your hair or your scalp, right? 1 and 2, right? I'm pretty sure these are the pins that I gathered from working on Strange Angel and having my hair in like 1930s victory rolls and all of that, right? So wig cap, very basic item. It's basically like pantyhose, right? The wig cap is to kind of compact your hair down, right? But this is a ponytail split in two in the back. And then I just have wrapped my hair, each half around my head, and secured it with this kind of pin, right? Which is, I don't know what you call these, but they have these little grippy dots that are silicone, and I think it just fell off. But they're very cheap. You can get them at Target, and once you kind of tuck them into your hair to kind of hold everything in place, it's almost like a doobie wrap, right? I don't know how damaging these are to my hair because they are metal, but I'm not really creating any strain on my hair. I literally just lay it over and then clip it in place so that I can get the wig cap on and then put my wig on. And, you know, no muss, no fuss. I could sleep in this hairstyle. I certainly can go to the gym and, you know, I don't think I look bad like this, but, you know, this wig certainly makes other kinds of, I don't know, lifestyle or mood suggestions. You know, I think the more you wear a wig cap, the looser it gets. Sometimes they can be, when they're new, quite tight. You know, when a wig is new, you know, sometimes it has combs and other things to tighten it that can be, you know, it's not quite the same as not having a wig on, but I will tell you, in weather like this, which in California is quite cold, it's almost like wearing a hat. So you can be outside. Oh, I look like Lisa Rinna. You can be outside and just be a little bit more comfortable because your head is covered and you're ready for camera without having your own hair blowing in the wind. Now, this doesn't look quite right because I just stuck it back on, but I can just show you. If I want to be someone who is, you know, a meth addict, I can basically, even without any tools, just tease it onto itself, and you suddenly have that look that's like, I slept in my clothes, or I'm on a rock band, or I'm shooting heroin, or whatever it is. It's suggesting something, right? And for, you know, this line of work, that's all you need. You need something different. Maybe you've saved yourself time and effort. Maybe you've saved the hair department time and effort. And as long as you get approved, you're done. And you can play with different hair colors without committing to anything or without ruining your hair. And that's definitely a really important part of being camera ready. It's being intentional, it's understanding what it is that you're trying to convey, right? This makeup is pretty. This makeup is pretty close to natural. With a comb, this wig looks a little bit more civilized, but as soon as I rumple it, just with my fingers, nothing special, no, product really even, but just the disorder of it, right? You can kind of make it look really kind of crazy, am I a shoplifter? Am I, staggering around outside Starbucks? Am I breaking in your car? All of those possibilities are real to suggest, need or drama or a reason for, needing law enforcement's help or, the cops or whatever. But that's really all I'm suggesting, that you kind of empower yourself to play with different tools, right? Whether it is an orgasm makeup palette or some magic serum crystal elixir that maybe makes your skin look more lovely than it does just with moisturizer. Whether it's brushes that maybe are not the top-notch brushes, but they're clean so that you're not messing up the color delivery in your new palette. Whether it's using, a powder that suits your skin tone, not a pale powder, not a dark powder. We've all seen people who have foundation and makeup and bronzer that's sparkly and it's too much, especially in daylight. You want to look intentional and you want to be ready to look the way you want to look, right? Colors that are flattering, shapes that are lifted and pretty and deliver the story that you want to tell, whether that's a character story or whether it's a more civilized employed story, a date story, whatever it is, a rock band story. I was lucky to spend some time singing in a recording studio this weekend in preparation for a video shoot. But any preparation, any practice that you can do, or even just liberating yourself to be an artist and try and be creative and maybe do something Joan Jett, maybe do something that's not your natural hair color for a low dollar amount and a low level of commitment. I don't know why, these colleagues would be catching feelings over it. Run your own race. If you don't want to do that, if you want to have the hairstyle that you have, just one hairstyle, whether you're law enforcement, homeless, or whatever, that's your choice. But I think that you could delve a little bit more deeply and liberate yourself to experiment with your look. Another issue is like, foundation garments, right? I'm wearing this two-piece set. I was lucky enough to get this, strapless bra. My own bra size is not this size. This is 34C, which is a sister size to 32D. But it works well enough for me. And I was watching people set up on Hollywood Boulevard today for the Gucci runway show on Hollywood Boulevard. And, there's tourists walking around out and about. And, there are certain tops that you wear that are either low cut or they lace up the middle. I think it's such an interesting choice for women of breast size to wander around outside with no bra on at all. Nipples and breasts just flying through the wind. I mean, it's your body, do what you want. But again, are you being intentional or did you just not have a strapless bra, right? There's boob tape, there's, you can just wear your bra and slide the straps down. We all have seen people who a foundation garment, a pair of pantyhose might enhance or improve the look of the clothing that they're wearing. And when you kind of learn about these tools being available, and they don't cost very much, especially if you go to discount stores, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Ross, Dress for Less, even Walmart, Fallas Paredes if you're in, you know, if you're in Texas or the Western United States, even eBay online, Spanx, Hanes, all different brands at reasonable price points produce garments that can, you know, lift and separate up top, can smooth things in the tuchus area so that, especially at work, you don't necessarily want to just be free under your clothes. I remember I worked on the initial shoots for Space Jam 2, um, playing a manicurist with Anthony Davis on set. And the first director and the wardrobe notes were, you know, wear foundation garments, wear a bra, wear some kind of like bottom half Spanx or something else, because the uniforms were like paper thin. It was literally like wearing a paper towel. So if you didn't, it was just really, really vulgar. Not not that women on set didn't remove their bras and just stand in the hall unnecessarily trying to catch the eye of this or that celebrity that was working on the movie. That was a whole other discussion. But you know, again, it's about being intentional. It's about following, you know, whatever wardrobe direction or makeup direction. Sometimes, you know, if you're doing a period piece, there's a specific color palette, colors that they wore in the 30s, colors that they wore in the 60s, colors that they wore in the 80s, you know, a purple eyeshadow, a pink lipstick, even in the 90s, a brown lipstick, right? Brown lipsticks and brown liners are all the rage. Uh, but I actually have been experimenting with using brow pencil as lip liner. Now, I don't know if that's the healthiest choice, but because it's a cool tone brown, I kind of like it better than a lot of the warm tone browns that I've been getting from Maybelline and NYX. So, you know, hair, makeup, wardrobe, it's here for you to play with. You know, whether it's using a nude color palette, a blush color palette, dark colors, light colors, but just experimenting, and with lighting as well, to see what is the most flattering. How much eye makeup do you need to emphasize your eye shape? Do you want a nude pencil in the waterline? Do you want a black pencil in the waterline? Especially when you're not at work or going on camera, you have just so much freedom to experiment and enjoy and enhance your own natural beauty as a woman, as a person, as whatever gender or identity that you have chosen for yourself. You know, hair, makeup, and wardrobe is here for everyone to experiment with, enjoy, trade, sell, you know, sell what you have, get new stuff, try new things. You know, repurpose the garments that you have, but really feel liberated to take joy and pleasure in your appearance, and, you know, share that with the world and share that with other people. Even if you're not wanting to look cute and appealing all the time, but if you can come up with a, you know, a character look, a rugged look, a biker look, a gangster look that is intentional and temporary, right? As temporary as this wig is, right? You can adjust it whichever way you want. And at the end of the day, you know your own natural hair is comfortable and protected, and you can take it off and be comfortable and make a live on YouTube. This is House of Tanya signing off. You know, don't take it to heart if people question what you have, what you wear. It's your body, it's your face. You know, the more you know, the more active choices you can make, and you can be intentional and successful in creating a look and delivering that look, living in it, being it, and having other people, you know, scratch their chin and say, wow, I wonder how she did that. And gee, does it cost that little to have that many options for hair, and not the hundreds of dollars that I might spend on a human hair wig, or on, you know, a bleaching process at a salon, or, you know, just using 2 pins to stick my wig on instead of glue, and a whole bunch of, you know, products and hot tools and all of that. But hot tools are great. Like, I definitely want to get an electric hot comb. I've seen people do wonders with their wigs with them, but you know, that's gonna come. You know, the Dyson air wrap hair dryers and all of those things, they're great tools, but at the end of the day, you know, protect your skin, protect your hair, be intentional, and you know, if you can make money doing it, all to the better. You know, all support and power to IATSE and SAG-AFTRA and the WGA and all of the unions that work in film and television and do such great, important, profitable work. You know, California and Hollywood, I believe, is one of the maybe the fifth largest economy in the world. Um, if we are liberal, it's because we can afford to be, and you know, we can make choices that support people who are in transition or in crisis, and you know, give people a little bit of support and space to deal with trauma or addiction, or you know, hopefully get to a better place, right? Doesn't mean we want to tolerate crime and violence, or you know, exploitation, and that often happens when drug trade and illegal, you know, drug dealing is involved. But you know, whether it's Black Lives Matter, the movement to advocate for missing and murdered Indigenous women, the environment, whatever your issues are, whatever you feel excited and intentional about, I want to encourage you to do it with style, do it with grace, do it with intention, and be camera ready. All right. Thanks for joining my live, and I will see you soon. Okay. Bye bye.